Hey guys, welcome back to DeFirl, your wormhole from TradFi to DeFi. And today is going to be a difficult day, but we are going to push through.
Yep.
And we're going to push through like most developers that we believe are building through this crisis. And the people that we have on our podcast today are also builders and developers. And sitting opposite me and MJ, we have Mr. Nikolai and Mr.
Hello.
Chin.
Yes.
Sorry to dox
Hey
you
guys.
guys, but you know what? Why don't you guys further dox yourselves? Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Chin?
My name is Chin.
Yeah.
Actual name is also Chin actually. So I'm technically docs. So I used to work for a influencer marketing agency. I hate the operations here. So right now I'm currently full-time working on as a marketing personnel in these Riot Factory and Renego team.
Okay. Riot Factory.
Okay,
How's
so
it going?
I guess I'll just use the nickname since it's kind of like getting too used to it. So Nikolai. Well, I am a game dev. So been in the local game industry for like 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay.
In Malaysia. So I kind of started out working on game startups, indie game dev, and then since last year's when the crypto is kind of booming.
Yeah.
I actually started just right before the boom, so I've been dabbled in like exploring how to integrate blockchain tech to games.
Understand. Cool.
Yeah, so that's my main role, and then on the sides I also do some kind of lecturing as well,
Okay.
teaching games programming
Correct,
related stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I want to explore a bit more later. But I think MJ and I will discuss that.
Yep.
Maybe more pertinent to, and today the exact date is 12th of May,
Yeah.
2022. And I think if you can, maybe down the road history, 10 years people look at this, you just Google what happened, like,
Yeah.
crypto. We experienced a crash. I wouldn't say the broader crypto market crash, but definitely in one certain very popular ecosystem. There was a huge DPEG when it comes to UST. And you guys are builders on the Terra network. And I want to just hear you guys out, right? I mean, let's just take it as a venting or renting session. How are you guys feeling about this?
Oh.
Why don't we start with you first, Chin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how do we feel about this? I mean, there was definitely like, we really did not expect it to crash like this. Because when I first picked up like 2 days ago, I was like, 50% drop? My God, this is the bottom. Then last night, then I truly see what a horror it is. Then the whole thing, we were like, oh shit. The actual bottom. Yeah.
Is
the
it
actual
though?
No.
Is it? I
It
don't
actually
think
just
so.
bottomed just now. It was 0.5.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh shit. We actually had a call yesterday to talk like, should we continue to build on Terra, or do we need to move out of the ecosystem because it was so, we don't know if it will survive or not. So it was like, really, how do we move on from this?
Yeah.
And I guess builders gonna build. We're gonna keep building regardless of what happened. That's kind of our sentiment now. We will not give up on the Terra Luna chain. We will still continue doing it, but we're definitely looking to expand to other chain as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's for us.
I mean,
Thanks,
Chin pretty much covered what I was supposed to say, but the idea, I mean, like for me, I kind of have the gut feeling like it will like go down really down south. So the moment that they started to depack a little, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's assume I already have all this full loss because I only have like, I mean, like it's not a lot of UST, but it's still quite considered quite some amount. I'm more. It's more like I originally wanted to kind of like recover a bit, but the whole network was like congested. So in a way, I accidentally hold more Luna now than UST. Because of like I saw the DPEG, so I think maybe I get the Luna. I quickly like RP it out and then get back the in other stable coins. So then I got stuck in the exchange. Then then what happened was that I'm like, oh well, I guess that's it. Then there's no point of return. Might as well just hold it. The thing is that yeah, so pretty much that it just hold it the Luna and then just let it ride it out lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what what happened yesterday. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I know it's a painful point, right?
Yeah, it is a painful point, but I mean, kind of like expected. So I don't really like feel too burned. I mean, like a little bit of a silver lining was that I personally collect card games, so I actually use UST to buy vintage Magic card like a few days before, a week before
Okay.
whatever happened. So I'm like, hey,
Okay.
I actually use it.
Store value.
Yeah, store of value.
Yeah,
Then
Magic cards.
yeah, my
Cool.
kind of NFT. So
Oh, it's an NFT as well, right?
no, not an
It's
NFT,
a
but like
physical trade pack.
a physical
got it.
a physical card. So I'm like, hey, yeah, at least I got some of my own cash stored temporarily into another
Good
game.
timing.
Yeah.
No,
It was like pure luck.
Yeah.
Just a very little amount, but so yeah, I guess that's a silver lining. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, man. Any questions you want to ask more on this?
I mean, like,
Fiasco.
what, I guess, why do y'all say, you're still going to build on Terra? What's still shining bright in your view?
But maybe I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I feel like, I mean, yes, the value drops, but the thing it doesn't make. What I feel is that projects doesn't disappear overnight.
Right.
It doesn't make sense unless like you are talking about like the whole delegated node, everything dies off.
Yeah.
That's a different story. But there are so many other projects up and running there. And then what I feel like since it's still there, we are still very early in the development, so things may be very different by the time we actually release. And then our goal is always just we are not building towards like, hey, we want to just quick cash grab, but the goal is that we wanted to really build a game that actually utilize the tech in a more proper way. So yeah, I think that's our goal, and then that shouldn't be tied down to like whatever chain.
Understand.
Then we eventually may want to become multi-chain and chain agnostic as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Understand. Right. I was just wondering, right, because Terra was where I suppose you guys achieved more mainstream attention. Would that be where you have most of your treasury in as well? Like, would that be affected?
I don't think we
Yeah.
have most of our money there. I
Yeah.
mean, we do have our money there, but we because we started from BSC, so some of our money is still in BSC, it's like BUSD. So it's still fine.
All right. So very much recoverable, I assume. Yeah.
That was, I mean, we kind of diversified a little, so we're not taking as much hit as other projects.
Actually, I'm happy to hear two of your sentiments because I think emotions really run high during moments like this, and I think it takes a builder's mentality per se, lah. And like kudos to MJ as well for having being the guy that just makes sense. Hey, crypto is here to stay long term. Think about it. It's very hard, especially at this kind of doomsday moment, to talk about it. And,
I mean, the day I sign up to involve in crypto, I already expect that there will be a doomsday moment. So yeah, I'm mentally prepared on day one anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a very stoic way to go about things, but I think it's necessary. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. I think let's put that aside for a while. I want to talk about the team because the two of you guys are a small portion of a team of 7 of you guys, 8 of you guys.
We have 10, but we have about 6 core team members there.
Yeah. 5, 6 core members.
Okay. So you mentioned you're a lecturer. You mentioned you work in marketing agency.
Yes.
Can docs, right? Can say, right? Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
nothing
it's
much. I already show my face. So
And I was reading another guy was a blockchain specialist, and I want to say it's a very unique mix of different characters. How do you guys get together though?
Okay. It all started by me. So I kind of like play around like DeFi stuff for like quite a short while. I started with like the proper, getting Ethereum, looking into it, just get some little tiny bit on exchange, and then because I am a programmer, like I'm a professional programmer, so I always wanted to look for resources on how, because it was advertised like smart contracts, programmable stuff.
right.
I'm like, yeah, it's there. I kind of wanted to dabble it, but there was no opportunity for me to try. I even, in fact, like way before I was talking to Chin, hey, why not? Let's play on this, work out, like try to explore how the smart contract works, what kind of apps can be built on top. I was like back then was like we just put aside like just ideas. Then I eventually tried to play on like those DEX exchange, and then I experienced my very first tiny rug pool.
Oh, BSC, right?
Yeah, so VSC, then there's like tons of coins, and then I play. I mean, like it's just like few hundred ringgit. So I tried. Actually not few hundred. It's like less than 100 ringgit. So I try and then see. Oh, what does this do? Because back then I don't even know. Like everyone have like roadmap and stuff. So, the reason why I was attracted to that was because they actually made like a demo game. I thought like, oh, okay, there are actual dev inside. So I'm like, hey, maybe this is the start of like indie dev starting to pouring in at the time.
Yeah.
So this was actually before Axie Infinity's boom or any kind of.
Wow.
You remember the title of the game?
I can't remember. I also don't really want to like, mention
Okay.
that
put it aside.
it's a bad project anyway.
Yeah.
So what happens
I
that
remember.
they just brought within one day. This was like
One day.
yeah. This was like when BSC started their chain swap thing. Everything were like crazy. So there are tons of shit coins churning out days. So what happens that those people that stuck there, there was like one some of them like say, hey, I wanted why not let's start a community thing and then like build a new chain to port people. I'm like, if crap like this, right,
Yeah.
they can attract. What if we build a real product? I built a proper product. That is my sentiment back then. Like, okay, I should really build a proper product and then bring people in. So I'm like, hey, I volunteered to actually invite to join in, and then just through pure luck, I met like the contract dev. I mean like he's Undocs. So we met, and then we start to like explore how to build.
Yeah.
At the time there was like very little libraries or solutions to actually even integrate. So we were like exploring like many very wonky and janky ways to actually start building it. And then took us quite a long while, and then we just slowly polishing our very first. It's more of like a Pokemon. So back then there's no such thing as a game fee. A play to earn is like not there
How long
yet.
ago was this?
This was like before Axie's boom. So a game is like it can be like a pure game. So people will probably be it originally we started more inclined like crypto kitties, collectible
It's OG,
with
bro.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's right before we launched, like maybe 2 months before, then Play to Earn starts picking up track. Everyone claims they are a game developer all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure. Then but that time we managed to launch it. It's not like a super big sell, but it's like good enough to cover back our costs.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Cost to like for our workmanship for the past 6-7 months. And then we kind of maintain it.
Okay.
And then eventually we slowly added like features like to pivot it to fit a bit more of the play to earn context. And then we found like one of our team members. I won't say he's like core dev, but he actually helped us a lot. So he suggested us like, hey, why not like explore Terra?
I see.
That was like when the ecosystem just starting. I think Random Earth is still like only launched.
It's about 2 weeks, 3 weeks old.
Yeah. Random Earth
This is
is
probably like
October.
September.
It was
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just I think it was just after Terrapin. Then we see
Oh.
yeah.
we started. You know what? We should go in.
We're just 2 weeks slower than Terra Bull.
No, we were
see.
2 weeks slower than Krunks.
Yeah.
I still remember all the
2 weeks slower
OG
than
names
Krunks.
in the
Yes.
Terra NFT
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we think, hey, maybe we can expand, because this is like a very ground floor level kind of ecosystem. Then turns out the community in Terra is like very engaging, and then I mean like the
Supportive
reason
as
why we
well.
are
Yeah.
sitting here today
Yeah,
is like
yeah,
through
Yes,
all
we all
the
met through a
connection
Terra
thanks
dinner.
to Chin, engage
Yeah.
with everyone. So it's very I will say the community is like very friendly. We find this is like really like people from different kinds of background start exchanging ideas.
Yeah.
So then we kind of like it's sort of like a side grade for our game. So that's when we started working on Niptera.
Okay.
We wanted to try like multiplayer feature here first before we actually port the multi-chain thing back then. Then we kind of launched, but I think we were at a very odd timing at the time. It was like a slight dip. So the traction was like not like
No, the time was, I think there was a lock in Luna.
yes.
So
we actually
couldn't
launched
get
Oh,
funds.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we
What do you
get
mean?
funds and traction to.
What do you mean lock in
So-
Luna?
So I don't think they can withdraw Luna
Yeah.
or USD.
So I think there was like
yeah.
one of the major hiccup. So there was a suspend on withdrawal from Binance.
Yeah, from main exchanges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from main exchanges. So the liquidity in the ecosystem is like that much. So everyone already like kind of buy way too many or like whatever major projects before us. So yeah, we kind of raised an okay funding to have the prototype up. So we at that time actually so which leads to actually the current one that it's sort of like we are branching on like a few brands to eventually tie them back together.
Yeah.
So at that time actually one of our team member T, so he actually created like a robot series. It's a really well designed collection. From the looks of it, it's like I will say that his
Gundam.
design is like way better than like so many other
projects at
collections
that time
around.
in
Yeah.
Terra.
Yeah, so not just in Terra, like a lot. His artworks are like really impressive artwork.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should really bring it in and tie into our products to build further. And then there comes the opportunity where we actually got selected for One Planet's finalists.
They
okay.
kind of
So-
approached us for the competition.
Yeah,
actually. We were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay,
So we
interesting.
think, hey, this will be a time that we actually start tying different brandings into the game. So we kind of like already sort of like have most of the stuff ready. So it's just like waiting the good time and to start building up.
Okay.
So at that time, we also work on Reneco. So the idea of that is that we feel like while we are doing 2D, so we have an experience of the first game is called Catnip Battler. We learn how we can build with integrate with blockchains.
Yeah.
So we know how what's the standard or sort of like the more common ways to tie blockchain stuff, NFT contracts, and
to a game.
even tokens into the game.
Okay.
So moving forward, the second one, Niptera, actually let us know how can we integrate these into a multiplayer scenario.
So it's also a learning process as you went along.
Yeah. So that brings us that because in our team we also have like very talented 3D modelers.
I wrote
we
it,
have
right?
artists.
3D modeling.
So we feel like this is the time that we wanted to actually upgrade from just doing 2D stuff to actually doing something that is much more scalable. Like we have more features to come in. So we that's when we say, you know what? We originally wanted to like slowly transition, but we feel like why not just start there and then we can eventually integrate these these Niptera, Catnip Battlers characters into it our Reneco. So that's the primary objective we set to ourselves that we wanted to develop this until like over the next year.
Yeah.
And then we also have so what happens to Riot Factory then? So aside from like integrating, so how it stands is that we use this to position as a way to actually onboard more common people. Like we try to target
Real world
working with
brands, right? I
real
know
world
Chin was
brands.
telling me
So
about
this
it.
actually leads to one of your the next topic. So we wanted to bring in making it feel more like it's a designer toy, like a physical one. But at the same time, an added value is that these products can be played in our game when we have like later on when we actually
to paint a picture, right? I remember Chin telling me that the concept that you guys really like, maybe not fully following, is Bear Brick.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
Fabric is
I
something
think
we
it's still one
aspire
of
to be.
our major inspiration, and it still is.
Okay.
Like it, we wanted that. Okay, if you are not a gamer, you can still feel like you want to collect it. So that's like the collection line. But if you wanted the extra utilities,
You can play a game with it.
you can use it
I see.
to play a game.
Would there be play to earn elements in it? I'm just curious at this point.
We are still exploring.
Yeah.
I mean, like it really depends on. I would say that things change so fast. What we wanted to go with play to earn is that we do want to go with like what's existing. Like the current play to earn is not truly sustainable.
Yeah, you're right.
At
We've
least
seen
from
it.
ours. So the goal is actually still build the game first. So having a fun game or at least to some degree is a quality game, right?
Yeah.
We can build communities that plays the game or love the game before we talk about you have secondary market value. I mean, like all kinds of, especially in trading cards. I've been playing trading cards for a decade. So
Magic, right?
I actually played like Pokemon as well. So
Very expensive hobby, right?
I
Real
mean,
life
like
NFT.
back then it was very cheap. I mean, like lunch money
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, now it's expensive. But what I learned from there is that yes, I actually attracted to this TCG back then because they can sell my collection. I mean, like wow, my collection actually worth something. I love the game because it's fun, but on top of it, there's an added bonus that hey, if I wanted to convert to cash to actually invest more into my favorite hobby, I can I don't really need to pull in extra money. I can I can trade away some expensive card for less expensive card of that time to build stuff. So that is one of the what I realized, like if you want it to be really play to earn, right, you want to have the game to be like attractive enough before like say because or else we will attract the wrong crowd.
Exactly.
Like,
MJ, remember our previous guest, Abid C, he talked about it. Yeah, he talked about the game has to be fun first before it's able to. You shouldn't think about tokens first or play to earn first.
But what is fun to you guys? Like, what do you all want? Like the branding, I guess, for your game to be right. There's FPS, there's RTS, there's
when it comes to branding, maybe Chin, you can give your opinion right on marketing and branding.
When we build the game, we really build it to otaku stream game.
I remember.
So that was the. I mean, like that was like the first. I mean, like first one of the ideas that hey, if you are an otaku, what kind of things do you like? Waifu and robots. That's like literally the two dream. Common themes that we can.
Thanks for being honest.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's the thematic wise.
Yeah.
And plus because it also fits into our talent's strength. We have 3D modelers that are really good at sculpting very impressive humanoid characters.
The rounder, the better. You get it?
Yeah.
I have to ask. I know what it means, but for the benefit of our listeners, right?
Yeah.
How you describe a waifu? What is a waifu?
Yes, please, I want to hear. Everyone's waifu might be different, right?
I mean, like everyone have their own favorite, but it's just literally your virtual GF.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be what I would describe it.
Started with Sailor Moon, innocent, schoolgirl.
Sailor Moon, you go way back, man.
Some characters from all these latest animes. Yeah. maybe we talk about otaku and waifus during lunch now.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Can.
I want to explore a bit about, we mentioned earlier marketing and branding, right?
Right.
And I think one thing unique, and I told you MJ about it, how they're doing it is NFTs in the virtual space on the blockchain, but they also want to tie in real life brands.
Yes.
They actually approached a few some of my brands that some of my clients know, but still pending.
Yes.
Are you at liberty to share what kind of brands have you approached here in Malaysia actually?
We have approached a few brands, some fast food brands, some fashion brands, some watch brands. But right now, the only one that really confirmed is a shirt brand.
Okay.
So we will indeed have a shirt and an NFT tied together, launching in roughly in August or so. So we have own merch already.
So this brand would be a wearable on the robot that you guys have in Riot Factory?
No.
Is that-
So
is that it?
basically, it's something like this. So once it's something like this, you buy a shirt, you get a free NFT. So basically, that's how we are doing it.
Oh,
This is
Okay,
phase
okay.
one.
Phase
So
interesting.
okay. Joining with collaborating with a shirt brand is more of like I think the first step to become like a toy collection brand as well. So we have like this is actually really just accidental opportunity. We bump into this store. So the brand, shout out to the brand, is they are branding their retail as it's called Live. So we kind of like we have like some client meetings there. Clients didn't really like it, so it didn't turn out well in the meeting. So yeah, then one of us got tired, go and buy like some
Go to
water,
toilet.
to
Go my
toilet.
news to buy
Then he bumped into this and said, hey, why not we just meet with this brand and shop looks interesting. Because what we saw is that the way they sell stuff is that they have artist collab. They are kind of like an NFT marketplace but shirts.
Hey, it sounds like Urban Tea.
It's not
It's
urban
not
tea,
urban
but
tea.
they are
It's called Live Printed.
Yeah, it's called Live, and the manufacturer is
Okay,
printed.
okay.
So they are like they have two brandings. So we were like, hey, you know what? Why not let's have a
Let's throw a
with
cold
them.
turkey.
Let's
Let's
just
go.
do a
Just try
really
Hey,
cold,
legend,
What's the worst that
bro.
can happen, right?
cold call like.
We walked to the store and then asked for the
Yeah,
name
I
tag,
just randomly
and then
asked,
we call.
hey,
Are you
I
interested?
like this. Can you recall your boss or something?
This is
Say,
after
yeah.
the failed first.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
build
yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
We go in,
Wow.
then he called.
Yeah, it was
"Are
like
you
a
interested?"
kind of bad meeting, and like
Oh,
the
it was,
person
yeah,
who
brutal.
doesn't know
It was
like
brutal.
What? Okay,
Yeah,
tell us a bit
we
about
have to
it.
know now.
how brutal
Now,
is
of
it?
course,
And don't tell the
spares
brand,
the brand.
yeah,
or-
yeah,
You can
but
DM me and ask for
they
the
are
brand.
like
Can.
they are like
What's NFT?
what is NFT? What you want us to sell your collection here?
Why is it valuable?
Yeah, I mean like I think the worst jab was like, oh, so you guys are just fresh grad, is it? Like
So it looks so young.
yeah, you guys look
Yeah.
so young. Like, do you are you? Basically,
They're looking down on you guys,
Yeah, they are
you.
looking down.
not so much your talent, but yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
were
So they just say, "Oh, you just graduated. Do you wanted to so yeah, maybe you can build a better collection and then let's talk with us."
But to be fair, she
Sure.
isn't condescending. She was like, oh,
Yeah.
she was trying to give us a chance, but it sort of make us look very amateurish
see.
at that point. But she
Yeah.
wasn't condescending and in any
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay, you know what? I wanted to give you a chance. I think that was the sentiment of
yeah,
it.
yeah, probably. But
eventually it
so
didn't work out. Lah.
yeah, so that
Okay.
actually leads to this, and then
Wow. Yeah.
surprisingly they are very on board. They wanted
Yeah.
to, in fact, we wanted to like actually build something even
Bigger out of this,
bigger,
actually.
like we were, our vision is like okay, we have our own Supreme
Shirt,
brand,
merchandise.
shirt brand. That's like that will tie into like the NFT
The
side.
NFT.
Yeah,
So we're onboarding more people because the thing is, I think when we first started in Terra, we always feel that there isn't enough liquidity in the NFT market. So we were thinking like, you know what? Why don't we explore outside Terra?
Yeah.
Let's bring in the greater market into the Terra ecosystem. That's how we actually think of why we want to approach brands, because we want to bring the wider market,
Yeah.
bring them into the ecosystem, teach them about what is NFT,
Yeah.
and then really educate them about the potential in NFT
So-
at
so
a cheap price.
On that topic, one of the questions that I really want to ask is also, I mean, we understand NFTs. We've been
Right,
exposed to it. We've been wrecked by it recently. But so to the maybe to the layperson on the street, or even just these brands that you guys approach, companies that you guys approach, what do you think NFTs can benefit them? Like in your words, I have my own thoughts, but I want to hear you guys through your experiences.
NFT would really expose these brands to Web3. So that's first thing. And of course, I mean, with the way we are doing our marketing and our marketing strategy with NFT, it bounds to give them more sales. That's first thing. And then using and sometimes we have seen that NFT sort of are being used as a identity for people.
Yeah.
So people are proud to have NFT. People are using NFT as their profile picture, and sometimes or like in Luna they call themselves lunatics.
Yeah.
We are trying to build using NFT to build a cult or membership or
A tribe.
a tribe for brands. So that's how we frame ourselves. When we are going to the brands, and we tell them that, hey, you don't need to hire a dev or blockchain dev, spend a few $100K to build the thing out. We already have it. We have the infrastructure.
I mean, we position
our
ourselves like a toy supplier.
Okay. I see.
So one thing that I think we are more unique in here is that we are trying to strike a middle ground between real world brands and NFT ways of marketing. So in NFT forms, they sometimes will like they have like a high price pre-sale price for people to buy in, and in a market that is like such instability, people will feel like, hey, I come in and then I feel like I get wrecked, or was like
very true, especially yesterday.
getting like, hey, why not pump price? Why def no pump? Like, I mean, like, this is a bit ridiculous from my point of view. So we think of a reverse engineer way, engineering it to like make it so that
Really cheap.
we make this to be very accessible to even everyday person. Say, hey, I actually own this. It's like really accessible promo. So we actually the first launch was like, hey, let's give it for free. Free mean so that so you guys are like
the one we failed to get, bro. You remember we were in a coffee shop.
Yes.
Hey, remember Riot Factory got free mint. Let's go on it. Fail straight away.
Just in
Hainan Old Town, Hainan hometown.
It was 1 second. It was 1 second.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Go out.
One planet.
I mean,
1
like,
second.
I kind of wanted one myself, and then I didn't
Oh,
really get.
yeah,
Also,
now you know,
I-
it's that steady.
yeah.
We were calling each other while it
I'm like,
happens. It was like,
what?
no, what
It-
cannot happen? We cannot-
Why
cannot be.
so we actually, in fact, like we slowed the whole one planet traffic that day.
I remember.
Yeah,
One
so-
point crash it. I think.
Yeah, so the idea for the free mint is that first we let the owners to decide the price of this.
Okay.
They value it. If
How
you
much
feel
do
like
you
this
value?
has value, sure. 1 cent is still 100% from zero, right?
There's infinity percent.
Yeah,
Yes,
infinity
yes.
percent. So we feel like, yeah, you guys determine the value. We don't want to like determine. So
Yeah.
with that, we actually will be able to like garner data of interest. of
Okay.
this.
Makes sense.
It was an
Yeah.
experiment for us. It was like,
Yeah.
see
So
how
like how interest is the collection. So people will start. There was like even some at one point, like, because we have like one of the more unique feature where you are buying toys like assemble and disassemble like Lego. There are people trying to arbitrage it the parts.
yeah.
because
I
you're a
remember.
robot
Robots.
and then you got the parts, right?
Yeah, that's something that was like really surprised
It was-
us. Like what, you are arbitraging NFTs? I mean, like this is interesting.
Yeah.
So-
Because it was a free mint, I would assume
It
that
was-
yeah.
the main thing you guys have garnered out of it would be the data lah,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
how
yeah.
it
It
performs
was
and
really the data.
pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was just curious, right? Like most NFTs charge, like especially when Luna was at a high price, about a few $100.
Yes.
Like what are you guys compensating yourselves with? Like the team?
I mean, it was a marketing play actually for this. I
Yeah.
mean, of course, we are making money from royalty, but eventually, what we wanted to do is, okay, you know what? Let's try a free mint, see how many
Yeah.
community members we can do, and then eventually, of course, the next collection, we're gonna start charging money and etc. etc. But the first thing was to build a community, see how they are reacting to it.
Yeah.
And eventually you can bring more people to our game as well.
Yeah.
So that was really the optimal
So
goal.
it's more like a funnel where we try to gain interest from them, so they want to collect it. Then we will start expanding this with real brands, so that there are so we can prove to these brands
There's
that
a success rate.
we have a
Yes,
data.
yes.
You see, there is interest to our collection. It's not like we are just telling you bullshit. That, hey, yeah, we have an NFT collection. You want? There's so many people doing that. So we have a data proven that there is traction.
I see.
So that then this works with the brand.
Yeah.
And what happens is that as this becomes more mature, hopefully when we want to grow it further, we can convert this to the game players. So they then it will serve as like an initial base.
I see. Okay.
For
I can
the
see the bigger
product.
vision now.
Yeah.
It's a long-term play.
Yeah. I'm gonna play devil's advocate a bit, because I definitely see a potential in it, and I want to ask MJ, right? So, we went shopping the other day. We were just buying some clothes, right?
Yep,
So,
yep.
For example, H&M. I think we saw something with H&M, and say if H&M worked with you guys, and say you buy a shirt, for example, and we get a Riot Factory NFT. My thought process is that, I mean, four of us here, five of us here, including John behind the camera, we are crypto degens, NFT enthusiasts, right? Would you say maybe an establishment at H&M, would they really benefit from, let's say MJ, for example, you don't know much about NFT, buy from H&M. Would you say a collaboration with a NFT brand would entice you more? Like if you put yourself in that shoes? And what you guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I think for me, if you can make it very simple what the NFT can bring me, then I think there's a value. So I mean, I'm just throwing some ideas. So let's say if I buy H&M, say, hey, like give me a phone, let me send you a free NFT as a result because you buy H&M. Then a little bit like, credit card reward system. So the more shirts you buy from then people can upgrade your NFTs. Just like, in One Tama, you have your one card, you have, in credit cards, you have points and all that. And so then the question is, okay, like when you upgrade those NFTs, like what benefit do you get? So you are able to bring this all over the world, let's say, then you get certain special access to, I mean, there are people who give ideas of things like clubs, or maybe you can join certain Discord group chats that allow you to maybe find jobs in Web3. Okay, literally it can be anything. But I guess if someone is buying from H&M, you probably have to do something related more to fashion.
So I'm just curious,
But that's the
what's
basic
your
idea.
thought, because may not be everyone who's a...
Your question is, why would they buy the NFT?
Would you say, because the everyday person that buys from maybe some of these t-shirt shops, maybe the one is a bit special case because they work with collabs and all that. But let's say if your brand does grow to a bigger audience, let's say Nike, Zara, H&M, like do you really see that as a normie bridge to NFT?
I think it will, because personally, this is something close. It's free. Why would you get it? And it's almost the same price as other products. And you have a free stuff right now, something that's pretty hype, NFT. Why not just get it?
Yeah.
So I think they will easily get it. But if you're talking about buying at a higher price, maybe we have to start thinking about like what's the real attractive point. But we are indeed, as we spoken before, we are indeed bringing it to the game.
I see. Okay.
So that's the utility part.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just popped out of my mind, man. This whole thought process. Yeah, but I think definitely, the right track. It seems very interesting. Yeah, I want to say. I do want to ask though, like you guys definitely deep into NFT space, very keen on it. What would you say are the ones that you really like out there? What projects are you really interested? Maybe start with you first, Nikolai.
Okay. I mean, like, of course, I like my own brands, which is like the
support.
self-shielding. But I the very reason that Riot Factory started was because I was so impressed with the art that our team built, and then wanted to really have it ready with a unique angle.
Yeah.
But for me, I personally, I mean, like so far in the NFT space, like ignoring pricings and like floor price whatever, I think one of the more attracted one was actually Mechavers.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I am a fan of Max, and I like.
we were
toys.
talking about it. Remember?
Yeah,
the
it was on
Gundam looking one.
Ethereum, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one.
yeah.
It's actually
yeah.
why we
I
built
mean,
the
like,
Mecha also.
I think the floor price fluctuates a lot, but the artworks are like really.
Yeah.
They are not just any artwork, but they actually put some thought on it. But I have no comment on how they execute it or whatever things
Well,
happen.
what went
there.
wrong there? I didn't follow.
What I heard was that I think they have some rarity sniping happen.
Within their own team, or
Insider trading,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
okay,
Something
okay,
like
got it,
that
got it.
happened. So at the time, like it shoots up really high and then it crumbles to a point where they rebuilt their Discord group, I believe.
Wow.
So I actually
Get
joined
out
the new
there.
one and then I was looking, but now I think they are slowly rebuilding back.
Okay.
But it was like kind of just there. But the art is the one
Okay.
that is like really that attract.
Yeah, I thought it was
So,
really nice.
Yeah, yeah. So the second one that I kind of like, I mean, like this was more of like my personal art taste. Was Azuki or any
okay.
similar ones. I mean, I kind of like the Lofi-ish anime style. In fact, like before this NFT boom happened last year, I was like looking for any kind of like anime Azuki or not really Azuki. I was in like 2D anime style collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like this kind of heavily stylized stuff. So yeah, that's like some of the
Nice.
things that I will be like attracted. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree as well. I wouldn't put personally, despite the price, bought it up there as one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
Chin, what about you? What's your
My
NFT
favorite
of choice?
NFT project. I mean, of course, Riot Factory is my favorite NFT project.
Okay, so all of us are favorite.
Yeah.
That's why we build, right? It's Riot Factory is something like it's something we want. That's why we build it. But joke aside, my favorite NFT project, I think it's probably the one in Malaysia called My MP.
Oh yeah.
That was an interesting project that was interesting to me because they actually track the MP performance to the NFT itself. So I was like, oh, interesting. Now you can see
You can buy
how
Hanayo,
the
you can buy Satsade.
NFT,
How they handle your funds.
how,
I guess.
how they communicate, there was an interesting one. Work acting, I think it was called work acting. I might be wrong, by the way. So it was like how many times they go to the meeting. So it was wow. I was like, wow, that was an interesting utility that I never thought of.
Yeah.
You can see what the MP is doing. It's like a membership, but in a way, you own the MP.
Oh, okay, that's quite cool. I remember
DAO.
I remember you guys mentioned you guys were somewhat helping them, consulting
One
them.
of the artists, not
Okay.
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
entire
Not
team.
not the entire team. So
see.
yeah, it's like our artist. He has like a different his own project, and then they got involved. So we were aware of like there's this project in that like in the space.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Imagine being able to buy Satsade and buy Hanayo and just own them.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah, man, indeed.
Irene Dow but MPs.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, none of you guys know who Irene Dow is, go and have a Google search of her. MJ, any more questions you want to ask
Crypto's
regarding?
waifu, right? That one.
Yeah.
Any more questions you want to ask
No,
regarding
I mean,
NFTs?
only what do you think of the recent Azuki problems, and maybe can tie into like, from if you were to invest in a NFT project, right? What are the things you would avoid?
What? Okay, so I mean like the first obvious one is that if you are buying an NFT, buy what you really like and appreciate it, not for the sake of flipping. I'm not everyone has a different philosophy, but to me, because I am in my heart I'm a collector myself. So if I truly like the collection that have like sort of, you don't really need very impressive utility, but some utility that it's still fun and you will feel that you want to keep it, then that is the most priceless elements that I will love to have an NFT collection.
Okay.
So I will actually value like, okay, even at Mechavers, I actually don't really own, but I would try to see, okay, do I want to own it because of just the hype, or I own it because I appreciate the art, or maybe if they have like very fancy utility, I will want to like keep it. Then that's what I will judge whether will it worth this kind of price
Understand.
factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. So those are important correct. I mean, personally, that's how I personally have always told myself to invest in NFTs. I think if you really like something, then
buy it.
you are able to
Yeah.
buy it and hold it, not just because you want to hold it for price appreciation, right?
Yeah,
But you hold it because you like it, and if you have a good sense of taste or art, the price eventually goes up, lah. But
Yeah.
that
I mean,
should be secondary.
Price
lah.
appreciation is like a nice to have.
Yeah.
But
really just want to own
the
that
art
piece of
appreciation. I mean, like even I also see this as a way that I can sort of support artists that I really like. So it's similar. What kind of similar thing that mirrors is that I used to go to like Comic Cons.
Yeah.
I can see some indie artists, they do fancy trinkets. Like it can be pins, it can be card, postcard. I mean, like it doesn't have real secondary value. You don't really resale, but I see it, I really like it. I will pay money to buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is similar. It's just that I mean, like NFT to me is more of like a physical property that exists in digital space.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
more and more, and you say earlier, the building a tribe, building
Oh,
a
yeah.
group, more and more of it is existing virtually, lah. Because this is what I think, lah. I mean, owning a Bear Brick is fine, but if I own like, for example, let's say if they have a Bear Brick NFT or maybe Riot Factory NFT one day, right? Like me putting it on my display picture, a Twitter banner on my Facebook, that is flexing 24/7, bro. That's not putting it in my room.
It's just like why you buy a Rolex
it's
watch.
Easier to show around than compared to like you hey, you see my Bear Brick.
We actually
bring
joke
around.
about this at one
Imagine you bring it and then you just forget it, leave it at the restaurant or whatever. Yeah.
Bro, remember we joke about at one point where you have this
Yeah,
chain
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
So-
you
so
put NFT on the
probably-
chain.
No, and scan it.
Yeah.
And then on the Apple Watch, you put your Bored Ape Yacht Club
there's no
there.
need
yeah,
Rolex anymore. That's for like uncle
Yeah, that's
level.
always
Then
really,
you
bro.
just wear
Cool.
photo frames of your NFT.
Your NFT.
yeah.
I think NFTs and crypto are cyclical in that sense. We
Yeah.
maybe at the start of a bear market right now, who knows, right?
Probably.
I feel like NFTs this is my own feeling from a normal person. NFT is the future. I don't know how it turned out, but I want to hear you guys as NFT developers, NFT indie game developers, right? Like, what do you think is the future of NFT?
I think it will evolve. I mean,
How?
like
To what extent? Yeah, sorry.
the thing is that the concept of you own it as like a physical item is there. It's a very interesting concept because before if you remember back when digital items were introduced like skins, right?
Yeah.
At least to me, right, I feel kind of not comfortable to actually buying it when they
Like, for example,
started.
Maple Story, you buy that hat.
Yeah.
and then, you know,
I feel very
gone when the
uncomfortable
game
to
is gone.
actually buy it than something that I can hold off. So because I know that one day if the game just I don't know, for some reason, even though at that time I was like still a high schooler, I have this feeling like, what if the game it dies out anymore? What happens to them? I mean, like, yeah, there are values, but it's compared because I am a collector.
Yeah.
I in fact, before TCG, I collect toys. I have Star Wars, I have Transformers, all those stuff.
Right.
So
right. This is when maybe when
the
you were a kid lah.
tangible of things is something that I really
Okay.
want. I want to feel it. So what? Fast forward. So what I see on NFT when I was first introduced, right, this was like not the recent one, but I have been aware of NFT back in like when during the CryptoPunks era.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of it. So I feel like, yeah, it's sort of like having a more tangible things finally. Like, hey, I can finally own the virtual item. I mean, like, this is something that people talks about a lot, but I'm telling it like from my own fields perspectives. Like,
Yeah.
I finally can hold a collectible like my cards.
On the chain, on your
Yeah,
MetaMask.
or on a digital thing. So of course, like as time goes, I'm more comfortable to collect like existing digital items. But then this is where I realized this has the added utility of like I'm able to trade it around, on top of like just own it. Because if you own a skin, let's say back then, I think 5-6 years ago, Overwatch is popular, right?
Yes,
This was when I have a way younger brother, so he was like very I think primary school, 8 years old. He was so attracted to buy it and want every time the new Overwatch skin drops, he wants to play. I would like kind of like feel don't waste money. You've never owned it, then when you don't play it, it will just stuck there. And then I always tell him, but he doesn't care, just spend. So there's no liquidity or tradability of it. Like if I really want to keep my goods, I want to hand it. It's not about, I would think it this way, like not just for the secondary market purpose, but more like if I want to pass this to someone that I like my very good friend to enjoy it, I want to use like I just friendly trade to him to have him enjoy. That is difficult because there's no feature. Of course, like there are games that have this trade function. Like for example, I'm not sure about if you're all familiar with Warframe.
Very familiar.
It's like a mech combat, like cyberpunk. Not cyberpunk, like far future ninja.
Right, like it's like Bioshock-ish,
no. It's like far future mecha suit.
Google it later.
Yeah, but so they have this trade function, but it's still limited within that environment. You can buy and sell, but you only get the premium currency. It's still a little bit off from if I buy and trade trading cards. So that's when NFT finally like provide that solution. But for moving forward, I think like that, of course, NFT still have their own shortfall, like somewhat slow transaction, prone to phishing. So I think as things getting more mature, more security, like upgrades, I think it will be easier to access eventually.
Understand.
Actually, the better. I mean, from what I can see is that when NFT stop being used for digital collectible, that's where NFT really goes a lot.
I agree.
Elaborate that.
Yeah.
So NFT at the end of the day, it's a certificate of ownership. Digital collectibles just so happen to be the latest hype for NFT. But what I can really see is that, when NFT will become the future, will become the infrastructure, and then eventually NFT won't be something people use it to hype things up. It will be just a backbone of a technology.
I see.
So it can be. I mean, the most exciting part it will be if we can see NFT as an IC. Identification card. That is the most exciting, something that I want to really see or certificate of ownership for houses.
Yep.
Or ticketing system. I mean, ticketing system is a low hanging fruit, but IC is the one that I really want to see happening as an NFT.
I mean, I can add on a little bit more. Is that this is from a dev perspective, why I wanted to use it. I mean, like there are also in fact, I observed a lot of negative voices of like, hey, using this, you are bad for environment, you are getting wrecked. But the thing is that I do have programmers friends that argue with me like, hey, I don't want to do this gamble shit. But shit. I don't. The thing is that my philosophy is that I don't kind of like a bit disagree is that you are a programmer, so you are supposed to explore text. If it at the end of the day, if worst case scenario turns out not the correct one, but you actually learn knowledge on how to use it and utilize it. So from a dev perspective, right, what I can see using the existing NFT structure was that so a common problem for indie dev, I'm not talking about the big guys of game development, is that
indie games.
You lack funds. You lack funding to build things.
Yep.
So when using NFT, right, the one, if I want to do like a collectible game, something that I can have a better security to secure stuff, it's expensive. I need to have like a proper expensive back-end server. I need like maybe some extra services. So what the contract does is that it kind of elevate a little bit. As long as you know how to code it, right, you don't really have a huge cost. I mean, like the cost for maintaining server was paid by the community anyway, like gas fees.
Yeah.
So I don't need to have like expensive servers. I mean, like, you still kind of need some to maintain. I mean, we are going very technical here, but you still need some to maintain the server structure for the game. But inventory wise, you don't need to design like everyone have. You need to slot like a portion of your server. What is it called? The space to the users to actually store their inventory. You can just tap into it.
It's all
I mean,
on
like
chain,
it's it's all on chain. And also depends on how you design it. Yeah, I mean, like there are I'm being very neutral. Like there are, of course, people flooding and say, "Hey, your artwork was never on chain." This kind of stuff. I mean, like yes, it's a limitation, but it doesn't. It can go very philosophical. Like how you define things are real to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I like that.
do you own the so one of the argument I find it's not like a definite answer. It's like, hey, okay, if I own an NFT, you are sort of like having a receipt to the art. But of course, there are two ways. If you are hosting the art on a centralized server, then it's a bad project.
Centralized.
That's pretty much defeat the purpose. But there are also another way that I can see you can host it is that if you are hosting on an IPFS, which is sort of like a blockchain but not directly on chain, you are kind of already like owning it a physical. It's just that everyone can sort of tap into the art. You can copy paste all you want, but you have the authenticated. It's like you can say the same thing applies on every collectible. I mean, like for example, let's use Magic the Gathering. That's my favorite card game. You can play the game by just printing out or even use marker pen to write everything, but
it feels different.
It feels very different. Like you were playing the real deal.
Yeah.
And so there I read an article like how do you define owning the game? Like you own the real cards, but if you are playing for competition, you start proxying stuff, and proxying things, it's like you temporarily replace it. Then eventually it turns out like it's proxying is 2 ways of time you use paper to mark. So are you truly need to own things to play? So it really depends. Like it's just something that exists. If you are just for the game, then sure you can play, but the experience, like you said,
That's the subjectivity element.
So how are you going to define that reality of the game? Like it can be just words, strings. So similar thing can be tied here. Like I mean, like what else can you tie it to have like closest to physical property? In the end of the day, this is just ones and zeros.
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what?
I mean, you can even extend to the point of look. Even today, how do you prove that you own the house, right? I mean, it's just a paper. It's just former trees, right? And ink. Right? You know what I mean? And if I take that paper and burn it away, and then I'll erase all the digital records, do you still own the house? You know what I mean?
So that argument of like you never own it is why I feel a little bit hypocritical with a bit of like limitation to the current tech.
Understand.
But I think as things becomes more mature, there should be a better way to actually make that everything is on chain. Maybe the block size, the gas fee is like non-existent. You can literally put it into the thing itself.
Or the computer processing power is increasing a lot. Who knows? So what's the?
I think the future of NFT would be the day that we will be trading goods without saying that it's an NFT.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Same with blockchain,
Agreed.
same with everything else.
Yeah.
Right?
It'll be so seamless, just part.
Yeah, you won't say that this is a .com thing.
Yeah,
back then.
yeah. You look at Web3, you know, Web2, Web1. you know,
Web 2,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it
But we
just
are here
been
perpetuating
forgotten.
this, so you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Any other questions you want to ask MJ?
No man. I've been educated, I have to say.
I have MJ has taught me on this rapid fire question, random question to ask our guests near the end. So I thought,
Yeah,
hey, you know what?
sure.
Since we talked about all NFTs, everything we need to cover already, and you guys mentioned being big otakus and geeks.
Actually, I wanted to ask that.
Ah,
also.
okay. Maybe you can ask your version,
Yeah,
right?
go
Can you
ahead.
give me 2 anime of choice that you enjoy? Maybe start with you first, Chin.
I have a lot.
Then say more than 2 lah. Say them more than 2.
Top-
Top
lot,
few
eh.
lah. Yeah.
I think, wow, shit. So many things that
So
come
hard to
to mind.
choose.
I
Okay,
mean,
top 5 most memorable one, right? Start with 5.
86 is the recent one that I really watched.
86.
Okay,
So
okay.
hipster,
okay.
man.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
what
too
it
hipster for me. Okay.
But my old anime was the very first 2 anime I watched was Black Ballad and then Katekyoshi Hitman Reborn.
Oh,
That's
yeah, I
one.
remember that one.
I think it was
I
my
feel
very
so
first anime.
uneducated.
Take you Hitman Reborn.
Hipster.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But my
You know what? Just tell me your anime history, man.
anime history. Get. I'm happy to tell.
Yeah, yeah.
I started with Conan, and then I
Detective
moved on.
Conan.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I watched Bleach at 3 a.m.
Hey.
At NTV 7.
3 a.m.
Yeah, back then NTV 7 at
Conan
3
is
a.m.
the
they
hype
released Bleach.
back then.
Yeah, I remember Conan.
They released Bleach. Then eventually I got into Hitman Reborn, and then
Before
watched-
that, right? Did you see the new Bleach trailer? The
Oh
new
yeah,
version? Are you
I'm
excited?
very excited.
Very excited, right?
Oh, but I
I
wish
know
it
the
could
story,
end
bro. We know the manga story.
I know the manga story. I wish it could. They have better time to pace out everything. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for the anime regardless.
yeah.
I'm not happy with the ending, but
No, but the problem with the ending for Bleach is also the paneling. It just like some panels are just like for manga lah,
right.
just like white space and a black slash, and then you don't know what's happening.
The thing is, it was so rushed.
That's true.
I thought it was gonna take 10 years or 15 years to end the story properly, but it took 3 years, 4 years.
cash grab.
I was so surprised.
We'll talk about this rant
talk about
later
later.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give us some more
continue.
names.
Continue.
Then I think the anime that really hits me was the Lodge. What was it called? I can't remember what's the actual
Rurouni
anime.
Kenshin.
Huh? No, the Lodge. Oh, what's it? Oh shit, I can't
The
remember
Lord,
the anime.
Code
Code Yes, Code Yes. Oh my
Oh, Code
god.
Geass. Okay,
I
okay.
love
That's
that anime, but I
another.
can't remember it.
That's another. Yeah, legendary.
Classic. Okay.
Code
Classic.
Yes, and then
Let's go one more.
there's one more. I think. Oh shit, I have another one, but I can't remember. It was, I guess, One Piece. Something that I
Nice.
watched.
Ooh, best friends with
Nice,
this
nice.
guy.
One
I
Piece.
actually watched. I didn't know One Piece until I didn't really catch up with One Piece until a few years back.
Because it's
when I
very
was in
long.
university.
It's very, very
I
long.
actually marathoned the manga from a few hundred chapters in 1 week time. I just keep watching day and night.
Actually, well, I think one arc a day is quite. One arc in 2 days maybe. I think is manageable.
Okay.
Yeah, I just keep reading lah. Day
keep
and night.
reading.
I didn't. Back then I was in university. I didn't go
Right.
to school. I just read manga only. Day and night, really day and night.
But today, what are you watching today that you're interested?
My next one in list is Spy X Family.
I heard good stuff about it.
yeah.
I want to watch Spy. I
watch
couldn't
it.
hold it first.
Alright.
And Attack
Okay.
on Titan, I won't have time.
No AOT. You have not touched AOT at all.
I haven't touched the final season.
Okay.
Because I was like, I need to have proper space and mind.
Sure,
I cannot
sure.
be distracted by work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there's
true.
a lot of
You're
work.
getting the right mindset and frame of mind to
Yeah.
watch. Right?
You have so much work to catch up, so I didn't really watch anime that time that often anymore.
Okay, let's get your list, Nikolai.
Well, bit more old school. I mean, like, I started to look into. I mean, like, I'm exposed to anime when
Yeah.
the first Pokemon, Conan,
Right.
was like showing up. And then also to some degree Neon, Eva,
Evangelion.
yeah,
Hey.
Evangelion. But Evangelion was like my favorite when I'm during my uni times. The reason I like it was actually not the anime but the theme song. I mean, I'm a
The classic theme
musician,
song.
so
lah.
I play. Yeah, so I actually
Oh,
play
okay.
music. So eventually I'm like, hey, actually anime songs are quite fun to play. Then I kind of like get stuck like Eva was like something that it's very familiar, but I haven't fully watched the whole original
The whole
season
movies,
yet,
is it?
actually.
The full
I'm like
movie?
kind of skip here and there. So that's something that I'm quite having a relation with. Then the other one is Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I like cyberpunk related stuff. I'm starting to appreciate the 90s, late
I
80s
see.
comic or anime because of their attention to details. Even like there's one thing, one called Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's a oh.
it's
This is how
like
we know
Ghost
you
in
guys
the
are
Shell,
hipsters,
but
man.
they are like I think they die off because that time like cyberpunk was like the hype.
Too many
there's
different
so
ones
many
already,
genres of
correct,
that in
correct.
the late 80s 90s.
That's right.
So I didn't really watch all of them, but it's something that I like their style a lot. More recent one, I watched recently. I just started to watch back Spy X Family, JoJo. I mean like for the memes.
Right.
Yeah, the reason I watch is for the memes. But I watch these is just purely watching, but it's not something that is
Right.
like super.
We actually joke
memorable.
about this. It's like we watch this anime. Finally, we can use it for work.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
would
That's
you say
true.
your projects are also somewhat inspired by?
It is. It's heavily inspired by
Yeah,
all this
yeah,
anime. It was
yeah.
like finally all those hours of watching anime. It's
Worth
being
it.
put to use.
Yeah.
Really.
But do you guys read what's that? Berserk?
Oh, I do. But oh, fuck me.
Kinda,
So
kinda
dark.
sad,
And
right?
it feels daunted to commit.
It is.
I read the entire
Because you
thing.
guys like old school stuff, so that's why I was wondering whether you're
I
like
did
Berserk.
read Berserk, but it was like, oh shit, he died. So
Yeah.
I will never have an ending.
So yeah.
Kinda sad, right?
Cannot commit it. Like, I
True,
don't want
true.
to commit.
And I'm
a
so scared for
manga
One
with no
Piece.
ending.
Yeah, man.
Really
I'm damn scared,
for One
man.
Piece.
Man, protect the
Will
guy.
it
You know?
end?
He say the series will end 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So 5 years later, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
No, I just think I think on that note, any other things you guys want to share to your followers? I mean, holders of Riot Factory,
Right,
your
right.
projects.
So as a final word from me is that we'll continue building it. We'll continue to build the game, and then let's hope for better things. And there's a lot of exciting things actually. Regardless what happened to Luna or Terra Luna, we are actually talking to brands for more things.
Needed to hear that, man. It's positive.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What you?
I mean, like I rarely talk online. I mean, but yeah, things works behind the scene. Pretty much we have like discussion meetings almost every day.
We,
With
Oh,
Chin,
I
with
joke
the
about this.
team.
It's like I talk to Nikolai more than Nikolai talk to his girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like literally, we
Yeah.
we have
So-
5 to 6 hours calls every day.
Yeah,
it's
to
insane.
actually like discuss the plans, how we want to execute
Yeah.
stuff.
To the brand that fathered you guys, regret, guys. Yeah.
I mean, we always welcome.
We always welcome.
Oh,
back,
okay, right.
We,
Probably,
we don't say
be-
I mean,
Yeah.
there's always a
Make peace, not war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, thank you so much, guys, for
Yeah, man.
coming
Thank
on
you.
our
Pleasure.
humble little
Thank you.
podcast. Thank you so much for offering support, positivity in this
Definitely,
weird time, especially for lunatics out there. And this has been DeFirl. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll see you in the next one.
See you.